Hey there, my name is Armida Markarova and I'm the founder of Look Forward. It is your guide to successfully transition from your last year in college to your first year on the job. So come with me and let's get started. Mark Twain once said, "The two most important days in our lives are the day we're born and the day we find out why." Wouldn't you want to do a job that you feel absolutely passionate about? Once you graduate from your college, wouldn't you want to have a job that you're going to feel really fulfilled coming to work every day and working from 9 till 5 or even more? The problem with that, however, is that very few of us are able to find that real passion in our lives and align it with our work. And there is no easy way to do that. The only way to do that is actually explore and try many different things. I started my career very young. I was 19 years old when I started working in a corporate world, and I climbed the corporate ladder fairly quickly. I went from a marketing specialist to an assistant manager to director of marketing and finally to vice president of marketing, managing a team of over 10 interdisciplinary digital marketers. But here's the thing, while marketing has always been the job that I love, it has never been my passion. The problem and the mistake that I made early on was that I only stayed in my lane. I never really ventured out outside of marketing. I knew what I needed to do to get to that VP level, but I never really stopped and thought about, is that really something I'm passionate about? I never took the time to explore different options that were available to me. So today we're going to talk about how you can start thinking about what your passions are in life and how you can align it with your selection when it comes to looking for a job. Stay with me. So finding a career that you will be very passionate about will take some time. And as I said, it's a matter of trial and error and trying a lot of different things. But there are a couple of things that you can do today to get you on the right path.
Could you tell me the way to Westover Road, please?
And I'm going to share 2 exercises with you that you can either do in your classrooms or at the convenience of your own home. Exercise number 1, take out a piece of paper and write down 2 things. So write down number 1, what type of activities makes you lose track of time? What type of things that you do throughout the day or on a weekend that make you forget about your time? You enjoy certain activities so much, or perhaps hobbies that you like doing on a weekend that you forget about your time. Write them down on that piece of paper and set it aside. Number 2, write down what do you find yourself spending most of your discretionary income or money on. It's not the money that you put towards your school or some necessary items. It's the things that you just really enjoy doing as part of your day-to-day life or part of your hobbies that you find yourself gravitating towards and spending more money on. As an example, as I said, marketing has been my job, but what I found out is that over the course of several years, as my team grew and I managed more and more people, I really enjoyed mentoring and coaching and providing them with ideas and paths to have successful careers. Finding out what their skill set is, helping them develop new skill sets, understanding what motivates them at work. So I found myself spending more time with them, coaching them, talking to them, understanding what motivates them at work, and then helping them find the right path for their career. And I also spend actually some of my money on educating myself about the ways to help them. So I found out that that was really a passion of mine only in the last couple of 4 or 5 years. Write those things down and set them aside. And let's move to exercise number 2. All right, exercise number 2. Write down 5 things that you are really good at. It can be anything really. You can be detail oriented, you're good with analytics, you like spending time organizing things, you like spending time with collaborating with other teams, perhaps you enjoy working on creative projects, anything that you know that you're really good at, please write those things down. And then ask 5 of your friends to do exactly the same, only describing you. Ask them to write 5 things that they think you are good at. Don't hint them with anything, just ask them an honest opinion. Have them submit those 5 pieces of paper back to you, and then compare what they had to say about the things that you're good at with what you think you're good at. I bet you will be finding very interesting and even some surprising facts about yourself. Sometimes what we think we're good at may not be something that others notice about ourselves, but others may pinpoint something that they think we're good at, something that we don't even pay attention to, that potentially can help hint at some of the potential passions that can be developed over the course of some years. Do those 2 exercises and let's come back to see how we can map a journey. All right, so you've gone through 2 exercises now. Are you starting to see some patterns?
I see what you did there.
Are there certain themes and topics that are kind of bubbling to the top based on what you wrote down and what others wrote about you? So to kind of put it all together, write them all down in one column. All of the common things that you said about yourself that you see also being said by others, write them down in a column and make a list. As an example, Stephanie is a recent college graduate and she has gone through exactly the same process as you did. She did the exercises and she realized that there are some common themes that were running throughout the whole time when she was doing the exercise. She's a good listener. That's what she thinks about herself, but it also came off through the interviewing process with her friends and family and coworkers. She's not judgmental. She's empathetic. She has a lot of empathy for others. And she also loves volunteering at an animal shelter and is also volunteering at Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So based on that, you can see that there is a theme running here, her desire to help others. So how do you choose a profession that is aligned with some of the skill sets and passions that you have? Based on the things that came up during the interviewing process for Stephanie, you can see that perhaps some of the things that she can do and work with is dealing with people, face-to-face time, interacting with people, providing advice, helping them understand, solve problems. Some of the jobs that are available out there are things like counseling, and there are a variety of counseling jobs that are available. You can be a student counselor working at a university or at a high school. You can be a medical counselor working with patients. You can be a counselor at a camp. You can be a counselor working with legal matters. So there are a variety of counseling jobs that are available that require all of the skill sets that we've talked about. On the other hand, the same type of skill set is required for a sales job and some other marketing jobs also. As a salesperson, you actually have to have good listening skills. You have to understand what others are telling you and also provide empathy to them in the challenges and difficulties that they're experiencing, while also being able to offer problem solving.
Problem solved. Next problem.
As you can see, there are a variety of jobs that can fit, but by narrowing down your list of skill set or things that you're good at and passionate about and things that others are telling you about, you will be able to narrow down some jobs that are honing in on that particular skill set. Now, we've put together a comprehensive list of skills and passions and also provided some suggestions on some possible jobs that would be good for you. They're on the website. Check them out, take a look at them, and see if there is anything that resonates with you.
So up until about 2 years ago, I didn't have a passion in life. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't have many interests, and I didn't really have any hobbies either. And I was definitely lacking a sense of fulfillment. So when I came to college, I decided to start fresh and try to discover what my true passion was and what my why was in life. So about the second week of freshman year, I went to a CEO meeting, the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. I've always kind of had an interest in entrepreneurship. Back in high school, I had some business ideas, but didn't end up following through with any of them because I didn't have the confidence to do so. But I went to this meeting and I threw out a business idea that I had, which was putting LED lights on snowboards and skateboards and bikes and other sporting equipment to create a sense of safety through visibility and customization through the ability to change the colors of the lights. And I threw this idea out there, and the advisors and the other members of the club absolutely loved it, and they told me, you got to do something with this, and you got to run with this idea. So that kind of lit the flame for me to actually follow something, and follow something bigger than what the average college student does. And that sparked my interest, and that sparked definitely my passion in entrepreneurship and innovation, and that was kind of the beginning of everything for me. I've discovered that I'm kind of a jack of all trades. So for example, I can't sit down and write a full financial plan. I can't design a fully functional product that's ready to be taken to market, and I definitely can't sit and code for hours creating a website from scratch. But what I can do is a little bit of everything. So product development, marketing, some graphic design, some financial matters, and some legal matters. I know a little bit about everything, and I can do a little bit of everything. And by having this comprehensive, kind of all-around, well-rounded skill set, combining that with my entrepreneurial spirit has been very beneficial for me and actually helped me to take my business idea and make it become a reality.
I think one of the things that's been sort of the most interesting to me about sort of looking back on my last, decade and a half of working is that my passions have changed a little bit. And some of the things that I thought that I would be doing out of college, I'm no longer doing. And things that I never thought I'd be doing, I am doing. And so I think that when I think about my passions, I tend to think about them a little bit more generally. And I don't think about them so much as one specific thing that I'm passionate about that I have to do. I think more about them as general skill sets that I like to try to employ no matter what I am doing. And so it might be things like creativity. I like to be able to be creative in whatever I do. I think that the ability to read and write, I really enjoy reading, I really enjoy writing. And so those are things that I'm passionate about, but they can be applied in a lot of different fields. And so one of the things that I think often about somebody's passions is how easily they can change. And you don't really maybe realize this before you've gotten into the workplace, but the ability to kind of get excited about a lot of different subjects and excited about a lot of different fields is something that is really, really valuable. And so if I have one real skill, because for the most part I'm sort of middle of the road in most areas, but if there's one thing that I feel like I've really excelled at personally, it's being able to develop a passion about a lot of different things. And in my view, that means that when I'm looking for things to do professionally, instead of looking at this narrow focus of things that fit my passions today, my specific passions, I get to look at a much wider range of things that I may find interesting to do, because I don't necessarily limit myself to real specific passions. I don't say, well, I'm a jazz pianist, so I have to do something involving jazz piano, or I'm a romance literature major, so I have to do something involving romance literature. I think the key is to figure out how to distill the things that you really like into fundamental skills that you enjoy employing. And if you can do that, it's really great. And I sort of feel like that's what I've tried to do. But I also think it's an evolving process. I don't think anybody gets out of college and figures it out right away. I'm not sure that I would say that I have it 100% figured out, and I've been working for probably 15 years. So it's something that I think we're all constantly working on and tweaking, but that's the general way that I feel like I've done it.
So there's a few things that have really helped me stay focused and keep my passion alive and make this actually become a reality. So number one, I've found that surrounding myself with positive people who are like-minded and have similar goals has been very beneficial. Two, having mentors that can support you. I can't tell you I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing today if it wasn't for my mentors, giving me the extra boost that I needed to take the next step and keep moving forward always. Networking is key. Building a network of people that can help you and that you can help is incredibly valuable. And you never know who you'll be able to help out and who will be able to help you. So talk to as many people as possible. Finally, learn how to pivot. So if one thing isn't working, if one tactic, if one market, if one product isn't working, it's important. It's so important to pivot. And this applies to life too. If one thing isn't working, you need to find a different approach, because it's not going to work. Keep trying the same way over and over again. It's not going to work. And finally, I'll end with my favorite quote by Simon Sinek, and that is, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. I think that's a really powerful quote.
So I began out of college trading commodities, which is something that I was certain that I wanted to do ever since really my freshman year in college. And throughout college, I did a couple of studies in the economics department on commodity prices. I did some summer internships in Chicago at the Board of Trade, actually the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And it was something that I was very interested in and really passionate about. I got out of school and I took a job trading agricultural commodities in Chicago. And I did that for about 5 years. And while I was doing that, I had the opportunity to start doing some other things for my employer. We were doing some investments in different types of companies, and we needed somebody to sort of shepherd that process and oversee it from both a business and a legal and a financial perspective. And I was lucky enough to sort of be exposed to this area that I hadn't really had a lot of experience in. And as I was doing that, I realized that there was this whole other universe out there that I hadn't really thought a great deal of doing, which was legal. I saw that lawyers were really involved in all kinds of aspects of my business career. If we were doing a deal, lawyers were involved. If we were in trouble, lawyers were involved. If we were working with regulators, there were lawyers that worked for the regulators. And so I thought, well, this is a really interesting career and there's a lot going on there, and maybe I'll go to law school. And so I wound up going to law school at night and working during the day. And after law school, I continued practicing more full-time. I gave up commodity trading, and now I'm a lawyer. And since becoming a lawyer, I've actually sort of specialized a little further in financial services and regulatory law. And it's very interesting because if you had asked me when I was 2 or 3 years out of college, do you think you'll be a financial services and regulatory attorney in 10 years? I would have said, no, absolutely not. You're dreaming. But I think it speaks volumes about how, as you're exposed to things in the working world, different interests can get piqued in your brain, and you'll find things that you're really passionate about, or find things that you really enjoy, and that you want to expand your abilities in, or maybe dedicate more time to. And even today, I feel like I have opportunities to continue to do that in my career. I'm working on doing some pro bono work now that involves immigration law. And for all I know, in 10 years, I'm going to wake up being an immigration lawyer, having figured out that this is something that I'm really into and that I really enjoy doing. I just don't know. And the good news is that I feel like I probably have another 35 years of working, so I have lots of time to do this and lots of time to figure it out. But that's sort of my own story, and I think a lot of people's professional stories probably follow a similar path.
Each video in our series is only about 10 minutes long, but there is a wealth of information available on the website right under each one of those videos. Look for a section titled Toolkit and then see some of the worksheets that we have available for you to download for the exercises that we've talked about. Additionally, you will find some blog posts, tips, and additional advice in the form of PDFs for you to read through at the convenience of your own time. Enjoy and look forward.